Welcome to Storytime with Karen and Kevin. I'm your host, Karen Monroe. Today, we are diving into the subreddit r/am I the asshole, where OP dangles a baby out of a window. Our first story is posted by Throwaway6400. Am I the asshole for setting a trap to see if my boyfriend was actually cleaning? My boyfriend and I have been together for nearly 10 years, and we've lived together for most of them. He grew up with a hoarder for a mom. I mean this literally, TLC buried alive kind of hoarder. He basically lived in squalor. I, on the other hand, grew up with a father with severe OCD that swept the floor at least 5 times a day and couldn't sleep if there was even one spoon in the sink. As a result, I like to keep a clean, tidy, and minimalist home. My boyfriend and I don't see eye to eye about the state of the house. I've begged, screamed, cried, and threatened to leave him in an attempt to get help around the house from him. I have tried texting what I need help with daily, asking bluntly, making a list, even making a color-coded calendar. I usually get up at 8 and have to clean up his breakfast mess while he gets ready to leave for work. Then I get to go to work and get home around 9 or 10, only to find that he's already asleep. So I shower, clean up his dinner mess, eat my own dinner, then prep our lunches for the next day, clean the kitchen again, and finally get to bed around 1 or 2 a.m. We both work more than full time, but he just flat out will not help around the house. His new excuse is, "Oh, well, I was planning on doing it tonight or tomorrow." Or he will just flat out lie and say he did it. Well, I started questioning myself and thinking that maybe I was just too harsh because of the standards I was held up to growing up. But when he kept swearing up and down that he swept, I decided just to set a trap. I put a few bits of fresh trash on the floor in each room to see if they would be swept up. It's been 2 weeks now, and he's still claiming that he is sweeping. Today, I finally decided to tell him that I know about the trap and that I know he's a liar. He reacted by calling me a crazy effing witch and claiming he didn't sweep because he thought I was using the trash I had laid out for my garden. Stuff like plastic protective seals from hair products, floss picks, rubber bands, etc. When I asked him why on earth I'd be using plastic trash in my garden, he switched back to calling me a crazy witch. So, am I the jerk for setting a trap for my boyfriend? Down below, we have some updates from OP. Update, we haven't spoken in 3 days at this point. When I first called him out on this Wednesday morning, he tried to call me to argue while I was in a work meeting. I got mad and told him it was disrespectful. He keeps intentionally sabotaging stuff around the house, so now I have about 3 times the housework to do. Tonight, I fell asleep driving home from work and hit the guardrail after pulling an all-nighter to fix all the messes and sabotages he's left me. Update 2. For those of you telling me to leave, I can't just up and leave because I have nowhere to go. I have no family, I haven't spoken to my dad in 7 years, and my mom bought me luggage for my 18th birthday and started demanding I move out the day she found out I was seeing someone. She hates me because she sees my dad when she looks at me. She would never admit it, but my grandparents told me about having to call the police on my dad because my mom was terrified of him and how much of a piece of crap he was. When my boyfriend and I argue, he calls my mom because he knows she'll side with him, and he tells her a bunch of lies about me and she believes him. I only have one sibling, but I haven't spoken to her in about 14 years. Update 3. I tried to talk to my boyfriend this morning about breaking up. Every time I opened my mouth to speak, he would interrupt me. He screamed that I was crazy and took his breakfast into the bedroom before accidentally dropping it. I cried for 3 hours while begging him to just have a serious conversation with me. Instead, he pulled his phone out and filmed me sobbing and begging, and then posted it to Facebook. He says my job is too stressful and that it is making me come unhinged. He is demanding that I quit my job and let him cover 100% of the bills so I can get it together. He called my mom and she sided with him. She even went so far to call my job and get me fired. I don't even know how she pulled that one off. If anything else happens, I will update. Okay, so I think most of us can relate to the fact that when you live with someone, things are not always going to go the way you want them to. It definitely takes work and a lot of compromise to live harmoniously, but it sounds like you have an extra challenge considering your very different upbringings, OP. I totally understand the frustration with being the only one who cares about cleanliness. However, it sounds like there is a middle ground here that needs to be met. I would 100% recommend therapy for both of you, as it sounds like you both have some issues that could be worked through. I would bet this would result in only positive things for your relationship if you were both willing to give it a chance. Our next story was posted by TallMirror5955. Am I the asshole for getting up to pee at night? I'm a 25-year-old female that lives with a 27-year-old female roommate. The building we live in makes a lot of noise when the water is running. It's loud enough to wake anyone up at night due to it having ancient plumbing. I get up 2 to 3 times to use the bathroom during the night. So anyways, when I get up to use the bathroom, the toilet flushing and me washing my hands causes the water to run. My roommate has requested that I stop running the water late at night. Now, obviously, I can just flush the toilet in the morning, which I have started doing, but I absolutely have to wash my hands after I use the bathroom. I feel like any sane person wouldn't compromise on washing their hands after they use the bathroom due to sanitary reasons. My roommate has complained non-stop about the water waking her up. At this point, my only response is to toughen up. If I can fall back to sleep after getting up, so can she. Roommates. Oh, roommates. I can personally say I do not miss having them. Is it annoying to be woken up multiple times throughout the night? Yes, but you're not doing it to be malicious, and it sounds like it's something you can't really help. Your roommate could be a little more understanding of this. Perhaps they can wear headphones to sleep? Play some white noise from a speaker even? There are solutions. I don't think you should have to sacrifice being sanitary because the water is too loud. Am I the asshole for expecting my roommate to pay half my cat's medical bills? Posted by FewMoment8722. My 2 1.5-year-old cats are currently hospitalized over possible lily poisoning. Various types of the lily flower are toxic to cats. Earlier, one of my roommates called me at work to tell me she had left her bedroom door open while going to the kitchen for something. While she went back to her room, she found my 2 cats near her wilted lily flower and noticed petals had been bitten off. I asked her to get the cats and come pick me up from work ASAP so we could rush them to the emergency vet. ASPCA Poison Control confirmed it was a lily of concern. Each cat is costing around $3,000. Total bill is about $5,000 to $6,000 for their 48-hour hospitalization. The initial blood work is showing signs that one of my cats is possibly having a kidney issue, while both cats are showing dilute urine, which is also a sign of poisoning. The cats have been hospitalized for about 18 hours at this point and appear okay, but we're waiting on new blood work following their charcoal and fluid treatment. My roommate's been supportive in driving me back and forth to the vet, but she only offered $500 towards the vet bills. I told her I'd prefer to discuss the situation after the cats are in the clear because I'm very overwhelmed and worried about my babies. The reason I think it's fair for her to pay half is because I told all 5 of my roommates that lily flowers are poisonous to cats and asked to either avoid getting them or ensure they do not let my cats in their rooms unattended. This roommate knew that lilies are toxic to cats, and so did her mother who gave her the lily. It's sad because her mom is a cat owner, and she is familiar with my 2 cats as she visits our apartment a few times a year. My roommate was with me at the vet the whole time, and she was with me when I was quoted the price. She was present for the vet's prognosis, so she is fully aware of my cat's condition. I understand that these are my cats and I will always claim some responsibility for their health. I take good care of them, and I was saving money to have one seen by an internal medicine specialist next month for an ongoing GI issue. I will now have to delay the treatment for this issue because of this new bill. All of my roommates were aware of lilies being poisonous, and I had spoken about it previously. And, by the way, another roommate of mine has been gifted lilies before, but she was overly cautious in regards to my cats. I know that accidents happen, which is why I would foot half of the bill, but I don't think it's fair that I have to go into debt over a situation that was entirely preventable. We also don't know what long-term care costs will be if the poison has significant effects. So should she pay for half of the medical bill, or what do you think is fair? I think Reddit said it best. Everyone is the a-hole here. It sounds like you did your due diligence by warning your roommates about what can be harmful to your cats. When you live with others, you basically sign a contract that you will respect everyone's needs, which sometimes mean you have to do things you wouldn't normally do, like make sure your bedroom door is shut. Do I think they should have to pay for half of the vet bills? To be honest, I don't know. In a perfect world, absolutely yes, but things get complicated when you live with roommates. It's not like she intentionally put the lilies out for your cats to eat. If it was me, I would keep my cats in my bedroom when I was away, just to be extra safe. I do hope they recover well, OP. Our next story is posted by Ivanka Trump's Armpits. Am I the asshole for dangling my daughter's newborn baby out of the window after she broke a house rule? Strap in, because this one is a doozy. So, to begin with, my husband and I are quite well off. We both came from nothing, worked our way through college, and I even worked a double shift at my second job as a 1-800 adult phone line operator while I was pregnant with my eldest, entitled child, which from here on I shall refer to as EC for short. EC, who is a 24-year-old female, recently gave birth to a new baby. My husband and I were delighted to have another grandchild and offered to let them stay in our house while EC looks for a job and/or new sugar daddy. For any of you curious about the baby's father, well, he was a toxic narcissist. EC recently left him as it was clear that he didn't particularly want a baby at this point, and maybe the child would be better off without a father. Also, for those of you saying that he might have come around and become a decent father, you should know that he also got our daughter a rather thoughtless gift last Christmas, which was another red flag for us. Anyway, my husband and I took in our EC and our newborn. We made it clear that they were welcome in our luxurious home, as long as they followed some basic rules. My husband's father died in a fire, so we are very strict on fire safety. In particular, we don't allow anyone under our roof to grill meat in the bedrooms. What the f***? Don't allow them to grill in the bedrooms? What is this? In particular, we don't allow anyone under our roof to grill meat in the bedrooms, as all of the bedding and soft furnishings are made from recycled materials, such as hay, coal, kindling, and old newspapers. My daughter agreed to this and said she would not allow the newborn to grill indoors either. What? Are you listening to me? What the f*** is this? At this point, I feel that I should point out that my husband is vegan and has a severe pork allergy. So at Christmas dinner this year, EC disappears for a while upstairs. After she'd been gone for several minutes, I decided to go check on her and bring the baby with me. As I walk upstairs, I start to notice the smell of smoke and pork cooking. I walk towards EC's room, but it seems like the smoke is coming from the opposite end of the landing, from our bedroom. I turn away, but suddenly our bedroom door blasts open, flames pour out, and a burning beam falls from the ceiling, landing behind me, trapping me and the baby on the upstairs landing. Coughing and covering the baby's face with my large bosom to shield him from the smoke, I push forward towards EC's room and slam the door behind us. I begin shouting out the window for help, screaming that there's a fire. I look out the window. I see EC climbing out of our master bedroom, which is ablaze, and yep, you guessed it. She's wearing a barbecue apron which says, "Smells like bacon" on it. She's carefully climbing down the lattice, carefully carrying a tray of freshly grilled pork. She shimmies down and runs across to the fire station that is directly across the road from us, munching sausages as she hurries to alert them of the fire. The window I'm at is a solid 2-story drop down. There's nowhere for me to shimmy down. Thankfully, a firefighter comes to the window with a ladder and shouts at me to give him the child. I have to dangle the baby by its leg out of the window to be able to get him to the firefighter. The firefighter grabbed him and returned him to his mother. With his assistance, I was able to climb down. When I reach the ground, my daughter is furious and starts screaming at me because I shouldn't have dangled a newborn out of the window. She claimed that I was as bad as Micheal Jackson. I yelled back that I'm upset because my daughter broke the house rule about grilling in the bedrooms. What do you think? Am I the jerk for dangling my grandson out of the window at... So this is obviously not a real story, but it definitely made me laugh, and I hope it made you all laugh too. Who comes up with this stuff? Well, that's the end of the episode. We are truly grateful you joined us. If you enjoy our content, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell if you're joining us from YouTube. We hope to see you next time.